Well, Metal Lords and Ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... So I should have expected this, and honestly I did to some degree, but as I went back to refresh the Gacha Fest page, well, I guess not really to refresh it, I was going to go through the playlist, but then I wanted to actually check to see if the next episode of some on there, which is episode 2, had an episode 1 on there as well, and I thought I'd make that a separate link, and I realized, oh wait, this is updated since I last looked in on it, and as it turns out, there are 2 new videos that have been added to the Gacha Fest playlist, which will continue to grow until the end of the month. Not even of this month. The end of next month and then the middle of next one. I don't know why I said it that way. So... No, I glossed over it. No, I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, not that I know much about this one to begin with anyway. I mean, even with what it actually says in the description, it is very hard to get a grasp on what this is supposed to actually be about. The video itself is called The Forever End, which sounds apocalyptic to some degree. It sounds like it reminds me of the Forever Knights from Ben 10, but that's that's beside the point. That's just a me connection. Let me see if I can actually find the tab again. Here we go. Yeah. So this is the description, by the way, that I'm about to read out right now for everyone regarding this. The story now Let's try that again. The story now reawakened. When the death of an author's element gets cold-blooded murdered for their power, it sets off a chain of events to get revenge on the person who ended their life. While back in Bloom, Briar Zach Peterson learns that an ex-friend of his has returned and is helping his foster mother host the town's annual Brightside Ball charity event. Everything he knows isn't what it seems, and that an upper power will be his only answer to everything if he lends his vessel to the author's dead element. Okay. I feel like that will make more sense when we watch the video, because it feels like we're supposed to understand what an author's element is and why it being dead means it can still have power lent to it in the first place, amongst several other things. So I'm guessing we're going to start this off with some sort of opening narration. To some degree. I'm really hoping we are. So, alright. Also, I'm peeking my mic a bit, apparently. Again, glad people will actually, tell me these things. So, yeah, let's turn that down a little bit. There we go. Alright, we'll leave it at that for now, and then we'll, and then check in if needs be, I suppose. So yeah, without further ado, on with the review. Nope. Warning before this video begins. If you're sensitive to flashing lights, little blood, as opposed to big blood, sword fights, and deep slumbers, I don't recommend watching if this triggers you. I feel like that, saying if you're sensitive to these things, don't watch it, covers that. Because, saying if you're sensitive and also if it triggers you are the same point, basically, in this context. They don't need both of them in the sentence. There you go. That's how you know I'm in my element today. My element, of course, is reviewing the disclaimer. Anyway, make sure to wear headphones for the best audio quality. Got you. And remember, this episode is meant to entertain you. Let me entertain you. I just realized I forgot to soundproof the room a little bit. Let me just do that quickly. Okay, there we go. Normally, if there's a couple of pillows or something, then I just, I use those, because they're easy to put back wherever I found them. and they happen to be. So yeah, there we go. All right. Anyway, so episode meant to entertain you and jumpstart this project. So we're not missing context. I thought this might have potentially been like, a sequel series that I wasn't aware of, but no. This is to jumpstart it. So we are meant to go into this blind. Okay. It was made by a small team of wonderful people, and we're hoping you consider supporting the project so we can create more episodes. Well, the link is in the description so people can support the project after this if they so desire. Let's see what you got for us. I'm an author too, so hopefully I have both. Thank you for reading, and please enjoy the show. Okay, right off the bat, I'm intrigued by the background of this. It seems like it is comprised of moving elements, so definitely something that's either been customized or has been sourced elsewhere, or possibly even commissioned. The blue and the magenta star offsetting the red of everything else definitely seems significant right at the moment. And given how they're drawn, it might also just be, this is symbolic of like a children's book or something. Again, furthering my theory on this being having us have a little bit of exposition. Is that a moon or a big eye? Honestly, it could be both. I think it's meant to be a moon though, but yeah, who knows? Okay. I was about to like scratch the screen a little bit to see if I was actually, if my computer was dirty, but no, this is actually just the filter on the on the video itself. I got worried for a second there. I was like, have I not cleaned this thing?
I still remember it. I had broken my destiny. I had been running from someone. I was running for my life, but before I knew it, I slipped off the balcony and into the thorns. Flights down.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got into this situation. And so it begins.
Castle. My story had finished and began for others.
I can't tell if I'm actually like in favor of like how this is delivered or not, because on one hand I can definitely see like this is something that's being like reflected upon later, so the pain is not necessarily recent, so it might be more like refined and processed, so therefore it sounds more casual. On the other hand, lines like my story had ended, but it began for others, almost feels like it's like too much glossing over your own death. So I'm not sure where I lie on this one right now.
But just as my writing had stopped, I woke up. Cold. Alive. My life wasn't complete. I like to think the author had resurrected me to complete my duty, and that was to get revenge on Gadriel Lily.
Okay, so I'm guessing that this is the element, right? So like I said before, in the Gacha community, the word elements gets tossed around a lot. You have you have like the actual, like use like the 4 elements, for example. You have the interpretation from Elementia, which actually kind of like expands upon that. You have moments where like where you have something like no, forgot the name of it now. Why am I blanking on the name of the show? Audiobook one, the Love Line. Sorry, yeah. You've got stuff like the Love Line, where elements are, a sentient species that are, humanoid and have a few animal features and seem to also, manifest based on various powers based on, the 4 actual elements. If they themselves are also called elements, not elementals. And in this case, maybe that is how it also works, like, instead of manifesting powers, you're manifesting the thing called an element, and that's what we have right now. Definitely a key word to constantly look out for, honestly, is just the word element in, like, any context. Okay, alright, playing around with, I guess, like, in, skewing the axes of a prop. Alright, I mean, that's not an easy thing to pull off in 2D, effectively, I mean. So yeah, I can appreciate it. A lot of silhouettes used in this as well. And again, it almost looks like it's meant to be like, a storybook type of aesthetic, from or at least how the backgrounds almost seem like they're painted, and that feels deliberate. I wonder what happens if we make this video could tell what's going on without narration. It's always interesting to think about. Potentially, yeah. I mean, it's not something that would affect the review one way or the other because, obviously, you review like everything that is actually there. Very few times have I like changed the audio of a video. Ironically enough, the last time I think I'd like changed the audio of anything was actually the what was I gonna say? It was actually the Elites by Hixna, actually, because that one, if you actually watched it, listen to that with headphones, it only comes in through one ear. So I fixed that before I made the review version. Do I have this character to kill someone? Interesting. Yeah, or to avenge, I guess, their own death, because it was the death of an author's element that started off, not the author themselves. So, yeah, not the same thing, I guess. Chess is bored. Okay. I mean, I guess we know the theme of this place. Not sure why it's called like the board, as if like be like the name of the location, but we'll see.
So it's somebody's birthday today.
Oh my goodness, your eyes! What the heck is going on with this? Did you see like how like everything shifted as soon as the character's head tilted? And we also have a little bit of the above a FAFSA homage in the sense that the character's neck is very elongated because the head is animated separately. Yeesh.
Yeah, we don't have to sing happy birthday.
Oh my god, your that head's about to pop off. Look at the difference between like the character who apparently who does not for the moment seem to have an animated head in the bottom left corner. That's the usual distance between the gacha head and neck, at least if you keep the original proportions of gacha characters. You can change those, obviously. That's part of the game now. This character does seem to have like a little bit like a shrunken the head slightly, but that might also just be because it's a separate layer and it was resized as well as reapplied. It feels like, that it feels like the creator overcompensated a little bit, when it came to, the neck distance to make sure that, all the movements were correct, I suppose. I don't know if there's an easy way to like move the pivoting point if you have to like parent everything all over again, if that's done in animation. I don't know if that's a thing or not. If it isn't, I would suggest, I guess, just a bit more of a leap of faith, honestly, and like parenting it to the right position in the first place.
I get extra pay if I sing it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, this is where I feel like we should have like some sort of like sound effect or something, or maybe like a bit of like a warped audio, or just like kind of like emphasize this because the background music is identical and it feels like to emphasize the comedy a bit more.
Happy birthday to.
Like he's trying to go like, oh, there we go. See, this is what I was talking about. Yeah, now they start. Yeah. I think the last time I heard this kind of thing was almost like it was like an ears like ringing thing that was going on in whatever it was used in, or maybe also the classic thing they do in something like Doraemon, for example, is it is where there's one character who's obsessed with singing, and the joke is that he's always super terrible. So what they do is like most of the time they have the screen vibrate, or everyone immediately recoil and cover their ears, or both. Honestly. Also, seems like someone with purple hair was employee of the month. Not quite the pink hair here, or maybe that's meant to be the same character, but or I'm all just about to meet them. I don't know. Is someone cringing from the outside? I mean, it wasn't that loud. It was somewhat aggressive, and that's why I can understand the kids screaming, because it felt like it was you're trying to sing while strangling someone, but from outside, I'm not sure how much that would carry.
I'm just sure.
Also, maybe the read books, the character mentioned their writing has been finished, assume the story was finished, but their author brought them back to go. Yeah, exactly. So I guess the author might be the person who also made the book, Or maybe there are multiple authors in this world, and that's just how the elements go. I don't
There are
know.
other tables.
Okay. Very, very huge nitpick here. Those footsteps sound like they're way too loud. Unless it's meant to be like stomping and like really stomping into the ground, you know, to get out his aggression, like when he sang "Happy Birthday." I don't think they should be like that. Also, kind of seems like oh no, never mind. I'm glad that we had a sign that said hallway. I suppose. I don't think that was for us. Maybe that was just for the actual in-building. Yeah, see, I thought it was the same character as well until I noticed that the hair was purple instead of you know, like the pinkish whatever it is right now. So I don't know yet. Oh, there's the moon eye, and there's a character with purple hair. So, although now his hair looks more purple than before, I'm confused.
Oh, hey Zach.
Huh? Oh, hey, Lily.
Look, see his entire head shuffled backwards, like you went like, oh, hey, like that. So it definitely seems like, you know, the just overall the head placement is, you know, very FAFSA right now.
I'm not really in the mood to talk right now.
Hey, wait, Zach.
I said I don't want to talk to you, Lily.
Lily's walk cycle was quite interesting. Like almost like walking through treacle.
You still angry about me leaving you on dial tone when I went to school abroad?
I mean, that's one way of expositing
I
that.
said not now, Lily.
I didn't mean to, Zach. I was just busy with my studies and couldn't really contact you throughout that time. I vaguely even remember my time there.
This is very it reminds me of like the William method of having the characters like always either like rocking or like moving their heads or something, which, you know, does happen in real life. I'm doing it right now, quite frankly. It's just something that is very difficult to pinpoint, or if you do it like with too much like a consistent cycle, it feels uncanny to me at least. Maybe not to other people, I'm not sure. Let me know about that. Does the automatic loops make it feel uncanny to everyone, or does it make it much smoother? I want to know. Let me know in the comments or the live chats.
But anyways, I was looking for...
Okay, fine. What do you need? Whenever you look for others, it's always for something selfish.
Another thing is that the character's eyes, because of like how gacha layering works, or you know, the character's eyes are usually blocked by the front hair if it is in fact indeed in front of them. But because of how they've been applied in this situation, they haven't been masked around, or I guess like accounted for. This is the kind of thing that I can see. You know how a lot of animation studios, when they first started doing like, you know, CGI, for example, they had a lot of corners that they cut because they didn't have the technology to pull some stuff off. Case in point, the reason that we never meet Andy's dad in the original Toy Story or Toy Story 2 is because they wanted to limit the amount of human characters, because they wanted to do something that, you know, you could actually, you know, feasibly be like, okay, this is not going to go into uncanny territory like toys. You know, that applies to a lot of their early stuff. That's why, you know, we don't have so many humans until I think it was The Incredibles, actually. Was their first one with like you know, a story that featured human main characters. And even then, like, one of the most complicated things I had to do was like, you know, like we had to invent something just to have like Violet's hair, because most human characters had very short hair at the time, so they didn't have to animate the movement of their hair, like, you know. But in the case of Violet, it was important to her character because she like hid behind it, so they actually, you know, I think it was like 10,000 hair strands or something they had to give her. So yeah, my point is, I can see an animation studio back in the day giving characters like, let's say, like parting their hair so their eyes would never go over it, or like having their hair like tied back or whatever it might be in that situation to avoid having like the eye layering. That's what my equivalent, that's what I was going for. Because otherwise you end up with something like this, where if you don't have the ability or like the means to mask around that, it looks like it looks eerie having, you know, their eyes over their hair, or their hair like digging into their eye sockets. Yeah. Also heterochromia, I think I've seen that in Gacha, but it's not on the main character. That's a very good point. Yeah, normally it is the main character. But yeah, it's It has been a while. And this came out yesterday, by the way, so it's not like this is an old video. Why does dude have a giraffe neck? Looks like it could easily headbutt a star. Because of his neck alone. Headbutt a star. Okay. Headbutt is one word, by the way. And I think it's because, again, in order to like have the tweening for all of like the facial features and everything, all the heads are animated separately, and then they are, placed into position. Possibly also the hands, as I see like the hands actually going over the head a little bit. So yeah, that's probably why. Nice cutting into their shirt. I think that's just normal gacha layering. That's the classic thing from like the actual game. That's probably not, tweening layers. Probably. Oh, geez, that's complicated.
Don't need to be mean. I've changed since the last time we met. I mean, I'm now attending the same school.
Please just get to the point on why you're looking for me. Whenever you're around me, I get such horrible luck.
I don't believe.
We probably want to stand on a pile of books, actually, if you're worried about your luck in this situation.
In superstitious stuff. And I just wanted to ask if you'd attend the Brightside ball.
Okay, do you see like they had his entire torso shuffle while their head stayed in place? Usually when people like pivot forwards, they don't keep their head static.
With me, as my friend.
Not a good idea to ask them at their place of work unless you want to intimidate them into saying something in front of like all the customers. Which is not the best strategy, I'll say that much.
Could I think about it? I don't like social events, but if I reject you, people will get more talkative if you get me.
I can...
What, you mean all the customers that you presumably either don't know or they don't know you outside of this?
Completely understand. He said yes!
Yep, there it was. I thought it was an intimidation tactic. Of course. Okay, now he's moving too slowly for the sound effects, actually. The pacing is much quicker than the slow walk that is happening right now. Although it is lighter, so I'll give you that. Did someone's shadow just disappear? What was that? Wait a minute.
Yes!
Okay, so shadow appears. Gone. I'm guessing that is meant to be like some sinister detail. Like that, for example. Oh, that wasn't pre-rendered. I saw it shuffle. Is that to Zach Lucas Peterson from Gatriel's Swan, which I believe was the name of the target of the author's element. Also, that says chessboard dinner. Diner is with one N. Of all the times to cut the music, why that scene? That feels like the one that would be like the most creepy music or something.
Hello there. Are you Zach
Yeah, see, he slowed down. The sound effects stay consistent.
Peterson?
Is this about the debate club? I told them already, I'm not joining it!
No?
As far as you're concerned, it could be a customer that...
Do you know G. Lily?
Lily? Yeah, I know him. What about him?
Has he ever hurt you?
No. I mean, I fight with him about his decisions, but he's never hurt me. Or anyone, really. That I know of, at least.
Also, he said G. Lily. Does that mean that Lily's his last name instead of his first name?
Well, it's better late than ever to learn. There's something you have to know, Zach.
Ah, yes, better late than never to learn about, I guess, the possible death of your friend than when you're working. What a great, what fantastic timing. Also, I saw that flash of red in there that was right before the fire announcement came. Actually, a little bit after, now I think about it. I think the fire announcement came first.
Zach, we need help serving!
Yes, you need help serving while your kitchen's on fire. That's priorities, everyone.
No, what?
I'm Elaine Author. If you wish, I'll help you. If you do.
So her last name is Author, okay. An author's element, meaning like belong to the family of an author. I compared this to Alan Wake in the description, and I know that some of you have read that. The description, I mean, not Alan Wake as a game. Just mainly because, like, you know, the character of Alan Wake is a character written by Alan Wake, I believe, is the meta surrounding that, and that's why he's like he's the things that he goes through are you know, writer Alan Wake's method of processing something that happened to him is what I believe was, you know, the idea behind that. As his entire, you know, like mental psyche is crumpling and he tries to escape and all of that stuff. But yeah, I guess maybe not. Maybe if it's just, you know, the author family, then yeah, I guess that works.
Something for me in return, you know. Since you're so close, it gets real. If you do what I want, I'll tell you what you're missing.
Missing?
Look, if you decide
If you do what I want, I'll stop my mouth from like shuffling to one side of my face.
you want to help me, then just write down my name.
Zach, stop hugging yourself and get over here.
Yeah, honestly, I would fire him at this point. Like that is, you know, very responsible.
I'm going! Let's see what
I'm going! Gosh, I need the kitchen on fire. Jeez. So inconsiderate.
And then
Interesting that that there's like, it feels like a piece of chalk or something, like writing down my name, being the implication of like having be able to be summoned anywhere. Oh wow. Oh, that's that's interesting.
and suddenly it jumped out of me and I once again left my bag at work. Make up? I didn't make up that story. Ask everyone there. They'll tell you that a car almost hit me. It was a girl.
Hey, Mom. Who are you fighting with?
The camera operator, whoever tilted your background to a Dutch angle out of nowhere.
A coworker of mine.
Oh, cool. I'm going to watch the news with Harvey right now.
Listen, it's... Wait a minute. Sorry, I've got to zoom in here. Listen, it starts today. Okay. Okay. Also, we just gonna ignore the girl that's, you know, slumped by the door or something. Is no one gonna, you know, check up on her? Or can they even see her?
In the living room. The bear is...
The important information if you do this insert activity. Usually, I believe, and again, you know, not not a lawyer or anything, but I believe that blackmail is defined as, you know, like a threat against someone, like you know, something that would, you know, hinder them in some way. Not, I guess, like withholding information. I feel like that's more. I think that's more a form of bribery. Actually, I could be wrong though. That girl sitting on the floor is so me. Well, I hope someone checks on you next time you do that.
Is going to announce who is going to be the host of Brightside Ball. I've entered our house into the box of recommendations.
That's a red crayon. Ah, so she opened the Chamber of Secrets. I mean, she wrote on the wall. I see.
Jace! She's announcing it!
Thank you for having me. Okay, so...
Did she start saying thank you for having me before reaching the lectern? Really?
I guess it's time to get to the voting part, where we count the votes, or pick the card from...
I at least appreciate the filter over the sound and it being removed as soon as like this TV transitioned in. That was very effectively
the
done.
machine. I was chosen this year to host the ball is... The matter.
Okay, no, she really needs to like work on her like you know, charisma as far as like a host or something. Like if they were like, thank you all, and the first person is like that kind of thing. You don't want to be like, ah yes, and the first person is thank you. No, I appreciate being here and everything, and blah 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 blah. Nah, come on, you're gonna add more dynamism to that. You know, get people excited. That's why they have a presenter in the first place.
On 216 Irisstone Street, which I know as the Starlight Foster Home / Orphanage. Who put this in voting box?
Yeah, difficult thing to have a stage whisper. Because the more that a character, more that a voice actor, I should say, actually whispers, the less likely you are to, you know, actually even like capture it. Not even just from the sake of like people hearing if it's not a stage whisper, but also because microphones vary, and some of them aren't actually aren't actually very like equipped. If I whisper the actual stuff I'm saying right, people will have no idea what I'm talking about. And then if I do a stage whisper like this, you actually do hear me a little bit, to be honest. So it's one of those things that you have to, gotta do. If someone gave Fluttershy from MLP a day as the Queen of Equestria or something, I was thinking Julika, but yes, that works too.
Well, it was written that any home chosen is the one that hosts. I can't change that as much as I wish I could. But anyways, folks, I guess we'll have some murder mystery lore in the house this year. And you know what? And you love it. The home of Harley D. Starlight.
Yeah,
What?
so hold on. So we have an orphanage as a place to host a murder mystery thing. Okay.
This is awesome!
What did these kids get me into?
Okay. Do you see like this the demon tail almost like flashing for some reason? That's, I guess, we're supposed to like, keep an eye out for those. Like, it seems that there's like monsters hidden, among the humans or something. Or, I don't know.
All right, everyone, move out of the backyard. Me and Gadril, plus the community party committee, have to set up this nightmare of an event. Where are those people, anyways?
Yes, even this person has a better like, host delivery and projection than the actual host from earlier.
Don't worry, Miss Starlight. I remembered to include a party area when you wanted this house.
You better hold onto that umbrella. Don't give it to some girl who might get, trampled by a construction site. That's a reference to yesterday's review, in case anyone hasn't watched that one. That's not a thing on this video.
Oh, really? All I see is a massive patch of grass.
Looks can be deceiving. But if I were to press...
Oh, if you were to break your bones in your finger. Did you become Midoriya all of a sudden? Jeez, get that looked at, please.
How long have we had that? Are you telling me I could have saved money by asking those?
A lot of red objects in this series. I wonder if red is meant to imply something, perhaps be literal red herrings. That would be fantastic. I guess that would also kind of apply to this character's, shirt slash, top, sweater, whatever that's supposed to be. Maybe. Yeah, actually, there's I talked before about Pedro Almodóvar a bit, a couple of times. Very famous director. Covers a lot of stuff, especially around the area of Madrid, particularly. Madrid is to Almodóvar what Maine is to Stephen King. That's the idea. But not exclusively, but it's a common theme. So, and actually, one of his films, which I studied in my A-level Spanish class, and I happen to have already seen. Actually, ironically enough, they picked the one film of his that I'd already seen at the time. I've now seen two. But but yeah, like but part of the analysis was how red in that film actually was talked about corruption. So there's one character, for example, who wears like all white at the beginning, and then halfway through actually like gets changed to like a pink like polka dot thing, like some white, and then like afterwards like full on red. As her innocence, and I guess like guiltlessness of the world or whatever sort of fades away from her. It's partly also like we get like some moments where like that's also very symbolic, where like one character ends up getting stabbed actually, and the way that they like that they clean up the blood is they actually just put a kitchen roll on the ground, and then like they let it soak in, so it's literally like the red over encompassing the white, and it's like very bright red blood that's in that movie. So yeah, it could be actually similar to this. It could symbolize something. It might be corruption. It might be just danger overall. That's another possibility. So yeah, that's a good thing to look out for. Purple and a lot of purple in it. Well, I mean, it was called Code Purple. I feel like it should have a lot of purple, to be honest. This is sorry, no. Oh, wait a second. Hi, 12 Heather is my old century literature section. Oh, that is fantastic. I remember one time when I was in A-level Spanish, actually, when I was writing about Almodóvar, I did a couple of things because like the idea was there's the you're supposed to this is important to the story. I usually got perfect scores on like the writing test or like a lot of tests or like near perfect scores. And so as a result, I didn't get like that much feedback of what else to do when it wasn't. And because again, I lived in Spain, it came easily to me. I say all of this because sometimes in Spanish classes, by no fault of their own, mind you, I would occasionally get bored and start to challenge myself, just for the sake of it, kind of like how I, did the whole like mute character in the radio play type of thing. So this was a couple years before that event, by the way. So basically, there's two specific writing writing tasks that we would do that they were just like regular classwork. They weren't actual tests. I'm not that crazy, but what I did was that one of them actually I wrote it entirely in rhyme, but I framed it like in prose, so the teacher never noticed it was all in rhyme. That's one of the things that I did. But my favorite one by far was the second one that I did, where I got even more bold. Where I don't know if anyone. This is gonna be like for the UK people. I'm pretty sure this was like 2016, 2017. There's a particular we have a chain of supermarkets over here called Sainsbury's, and one thing that they do every year is they do some sort of like big Christmas advert that's not to do with Sainsbury's itself, but this is more like something, just something like like a memorable short of some kind, like very heartfelt thing. Like one year, they did in 2014 they did the thing about like the Christmas truce that happened in 1914 during World War One. For example, they just like recreated that, and then like at the end of like this very like heartfelt piece that they did, they just like flashed the name Sainsbury's, and that was it. That was the connection. I also love Sainsbury's. That's not an indictment on this is like a sponsored thing, or like not an indictment on like them as a company or whatever. I just mean, again, important to the story. So there was I don't know if it was 2017 or 2016 where they did a stop motion there's a musical ad this time that was all about this this man who was overworked, and he wanted to spend time with his family, or at least like give them a the greatest gift. It was called The Greatest Gift. The whole thing was a song sung by James Corden. Nothing is perfect in this world, but this is like slightly before his fall from grace, I suppose. Yeah, so the idea is that so that was like the whole thing. I still remember the song now. I wanna find the greatest gift I can give my family. It turns out he clones himself at the end of the video somehow, and then and then it's like, the greatest gift that I can give is me, and there's like several other families and such. But yeah, like the whole thing is just him going for like, another year over, where do they go to? It's a mystery. Like that, a whole sequence, full song, by the way. Like longer than most adverts, but like a full track with like choruses, key changes, everything, right? And as much as I've never been the hugest James Corden fan, I adored that song. So, in classic me fashion, I was there writing in like a writing challenge, or not writing challenge, writing coursework thing or whatever, to do with I think it was like Almodóvar's influences or something, or like what things that would have applied to him, and I was just and I don't know how my teacher noticed this, because I just did a parody of that song, of that. I mean, I would have thought at least there'd be like some sort of suspicion, not because the song was this was also like Christmas time, I guess, by this point, but just the idea I think it maybe was actually, maybe they're still on. But just the idea of like, it being like a song, even though I still like wrote it out normally, because I kept the choruses in. Like I had a whole thing of like, llegó a ser un gran cineasta de la actualidad. And then, but I also varied it up because the song also varies it, so it was just, a different way to end the sentence. And so yeah, I fully converted a Sainsbury's Christmas advert into a parody for a Spanish writing piece because I was bored in class. But I kept it relevant. I still got, my usual marks on the paper. It's just somehow I got away with that as a repetition thing. Like, I don't know how, but I love that it happened. I wish I wasn't able to keep it, unfortunately, but that's one of the things that I would definitely have like held on to if I had been able to. Like, oh my goodness. I wish I could perform that now, but again, I don't know anymore. It was like 10 years ago.
Party people not to help me, and we could have done this on our own?
You never asked. Plus, I'm attending this year, so I want to make sure it's perfect.
Of course. It's always about everyone but myself.
Oh, that's the same leaf that main character had in his hair. I wonder if that means something happened to him. Nope, never mind. Still got his leaf, and it's shuffling away from him. All right. Let's use a song in my Spanish lesson too. There's a rap song by a Latina singer who was used the most colloquial in improper language, but still got 9 as A-star. So yeah. Okay, fair enough. Actually, one of the first parodies I ever wrote was when I was still... There's another one in Spanish, actually. But it was... It was like when I was in primary school, and I was still in Spain at the time. That's why I was in Spanish. And we had to learn the provinces of Spain. Or, that's part of like our geography classes. Same with you, like learn the counties here. That's why I don't know one county from the next over here, but I know the Spanish provinces. And what I did was I made a version of like all the provinces to the tune of the Poke Rap. So it was just me going, Las provincias yo me sé porque me las estudié un montón y me hice esta canción. Pontevedra, Asturias, Lugo, Cantabria, Orense, Coruña, Navarra, Melilla, etc., etc. I don't remember all of it, but that's the idea. So I have very much like always since at least I'm pretty sure I was 11 when I did that. So for literally most of my life, I've been making parodies now. So to people like Bon who keep asking where those things come from, I have conditioned myself to an intense psychological degree to just do that all the time.
I really wished I wanted to attend the event, but I don't really have the strength to make myself look nice for it. And it's not like I have anything to wear to it.
Wait, hold on. What was that? There was I missed that. Something appeared on
I have
screen.
the strength to make myself look nice for it.
Also, his chin shrank. Oh, flashback to trying on clothes. Okay, fine. I mean, again, if you just have like a flashback transition or something and add like a gradient filter, you don't need the text on top of it. This definitely feels like it's like trying to handhold us to this point. Like the hallway thing, I thought was just meant to be like a marked thing in the hallway. The listen, the listen thing, that was written with the red crayon by the crying girl, like that, is definitely feels like some sort of like foreboding thing that was supposed to be a mystery. But this is just hand holding something. We don't need this text, I don't think. This is a chili pepper. A little bit, actually.
It's not like I have anything to wear to it anyways.
The song was called Bailo Sola by Valentina Mami. What a great Spanish rapper name, honestly. The Rosie Pops actress in Rap Pops. Oh, okay. All right. I thank her for getting me a great exam about my hobbies. All right, okay. Is one of your hobbies dancing alone? Because that's where that's what bailo sola means. I gotta look that up now, honestly. Although it makes sense that it makes sense that she was cast, I suppose, in Rat Pops. Did not realize that. Yeah, Twiz just super glued that leaf in their hair. I mean, I saw it shuffle earlier, so I don't think so. But yeah, there's a stay still. Oh, it's super. Oh, jeez. Okay, did you just see like how the glasses like they took like an extra second to like move over? That's definitely the kind of thing that they think that you move the keyframes over, and that's how you would solve that.
In all honesty, I think it would be best if I work on those
This sort of 10 minutes ago to the Heather soundtrack. Oh, wow, okay.
days and get the cash to help Harley. It's not like it's mandatory to attend. Plus, that Elaine girl? Revenge? For what?
Okay, another thing that I like about this, give it also the height chart in the background. Okay, so Spice has been here for some time. Is how we're like transitioning from different angles of the same background. That's one thing that again I need to start doing at some point. Is just like even if they're like basic like simple walls or something, having those types of custom backgrounds for gacha videos is something that I definitely want to start doing. To be honest.
He doesn't know my personal life, and Lily tells me almost everything. I mean, I've known him since I was small. I would never think he had a bad side. It's not worth worrying about. I'll be working during the event. No need for me to see anyone there.
I'm glad that you talked about this all to yourself out loud. At least do the orchid filter or something. I don't think that every time that she speaks in her head, of course. With the stakeholder, yeah, absolutely. Oh, there's Leaf again.
Alright, Peterson. You sure you want to clean this
It's
place?
starting to sound cut off before she finished walking.
The Brightside Ball masquerade is today, and all the other kids are going.
I keep missing words. Yeah, you're becoming Tamsin, be careful.
You sure you don't want to attend?
I'm 100% positive I'm not going.
Alright.
Did someone graffiti a broken heart to the bottom corner of a locker? How much effort did that take?
When you're closing, be sure to lock up.
Yeah.
The #1 broom.
How does one's sunglasses fall flawlessly like that? Well, I mean, if they're magnetically drawn to your eyes, like those ones clearly were, then yeah, feels feasible.
Welcome everyone to the live event of Brightside Ball. Today we'll be looking at others' outfits, but also talking to the woman with a criminal record.
Remember?
I'm sorry, did you say a criminal record or clinical record? What was that line?
Woman with a criminal record.
Yeah, no, that sounded like criminal. There's not criminal or clinical, but criminal.
Remember, Zach, it's not worth being near lots of people.
The way he says it's not worth being near lots of people implies that it's definitely not just him being an introvert. Another thing to add to the mystery, I suppose. Anyways, please visit me at work. Very valid. We're still using this old phone. I'm sorry, how do you... Wait, okay. Maybe it's because, like, now with, like, modern SIM cards, you can have, like, keep the same phone number, but back in the day you couldn't, so she knows that this is the same old phone as before. Okay, sure. Alright then. The whole event name sounds like a stereomark name. Anyways, if you don't respond, I'll go check on you. Donate parties. Hashtag events like you. Why do you put a hashtag in a text like that? Anyway, enjoy the party. Plus, why you can test me after months of ignoring me. Gotta be sensitive about it. One party won't drain you. I already asked you in person anyways. I'll see you there. Hey, Zachary, you're coming, right? I don't want to look stupid here. I'll be waiting. If not, I guess I'll see you at school. So at one point, it's saying, oh, you already agreed. Another point saying, oh, please come. Another point, oh, are you still arriving? Okay. I point this out, but the bottom of his shirt is different from the rest. I thought it was intentional, but no one else's uniform like that. Okay. I appreciate that the keyboard was custom inserted in the correct formation. Which on most old phones like that, would not be the case. They would have they would usually have like the number pad with corresponding letters that you would use to text. I think that's where a lot of text speech really actually, you know, like that like had a purpose and like, you know, blew up, is because it was more effort to text something back in the day than it is right now, where you just have like, you know, touchscreen keyboards that have the QWERTY keyboard formation. It doesn't feel necessary anymore.
I wish I could know what he's done. She made it sound so mysterious. I wonder what he did to her. She did say she'd help me if I were to complete a task for her.
Oh, that's another thing, by the way. Like, that name tab should not switch. That's again another that's I would say that was an issue with how Gacha reflects and mirrors certain things on characters, and I think it's still the case. I think he was animated, like, you know, to like walk in place and face in a direction, and then he was keyframed into the scene later, and like they had the video and image flipped, because otherwise that definitely wouldn't have happened. So I'm guessing that's how this was made, which is fair enough. But that also means you can animate other things and then keyframe them in as a whole, like, separate, like, you know, video track and layer, like the heads, for example, I would have thought. And yet, most of the issues with the heads that I've come up with so far, minus the neck thing, every other issue stems from the fact that, you know, that like the layers are all still moving independently and are still having to be animated independently. But at the same time, the heads are moving up and down, so everything is moving at different times. If you pre-render the expressions and everything, and then work out the head movements later, then you don't have that issue, because you've already got. And if something like comes up, you can always keep the negative version, and then just like go back and alter it. That's very similar to something that I tried when it came to animated mouths. It didn't matter for me because that's the only thing that I customize. But if I was to expand that further, that's what I would do. Water's transparent.
There's always
You know,
been
we can be
something
invisible.
the others hide from me. She always hides as well. They always lie to me.
Actually, no. You know what? I'm not gonna let this water slide. If you can't have the water form, just like crop the crop the open part of the bucket out. Have it be like off frame.
Look,
What is doing well and staying safe? I mean, I got back from a party today, so I'm thriving, and I'm fed too, which means I should be crazy, but I got no one to bounce off, so you know it's not manifesting.
if you decide you want to help me, then just write down my name.
You know something? Apparently, on the grave of romantic poet John Keats, who is coincidentally the same poet that Jana has a crush on in Star Wars: The Force of Evil. Apparently, on his gravestone is written, "Here is someone whose name was written in water," which essentially means that you know, his name was written down, like, you know, and was not in a non-memorable form, and no one remember him at all. And he is apparently the most celebrated English writer after Shakespeare. Not sure, or like, it looks like from a historical point, maybe like modern day, you know, not within like the last, you know, 20 odd years or something. That's not what I mean. Or 30
The
odd
truth
years.
better be the truth of the memories I'm missing.
The truth better be the truth of the memories. Okay. The truth better be truthful and true. Oh, I saw a drop of sweat trickle down after the dripping sound. Okay. They fall in perfect formation.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure you do. Make sure your looks can kill a certain monster.
Sir Monster, okay. What's going on? Well, I think we're about to find out, yeah. Never mind. I take it back.
If I see one more interviewer, I will go insane.
Harley, why are you hiding here? You have to greet the guest and make sure the orphan funds aren't just going to us. Remember, this is also a fundraiser for the others.
You need to leave immediately, Mega Man.
coming.
It pains me to say, I like the fact that there's a shadow there, or like the shadow is it not the same as like the surface shadow? It's like actually it is actually the shadow of like the character, or like where the character's foot from a different angle. However, I have to point out that that it only works in this frame. If I do that, it's off base. It's off base now. The way to fix this, because I do actually have a bit of practice with by applying shadows in Gacha. It's not very obvious, but I have done it a couple of times. Not on the not into like the waxed floors of the Music Freaks angle, although I could if I wanted to. When I did it was actually in the most recent Mutant Girl episode. In the final scene, the shadow figure that's already like shaded at the train station. Well, the train station has a custom background, and one of the things that is on there is that the actual lighting, it actually does have a few reflections of some of the assets that are there, which means that if the character didn't have a shadow in that scene, it would look odd. So what I did was I synced up I copy pasted the to a different layer with the of the shadow figure after I did all the keyframes. This is flipped it over, and then that moved it into place underneath, and then just like cropped out the part that I didn't need. It's not noticeable because the shadows cut off like where the like train platform is, so there's only like a bit where just like the character's feet. If you look beneath the shadow figure's feet in the train station, the last Mutant Girl scene, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, it's a case of like most of the time you won't have that separation, or just have them attached to their character's feet, and they will sync up because that's just how it goes. That would just be the physics. That's one thing, because that's why it's impressive when someone like mirrors someone in live action but not animation, because in animation we've had techniques going back 100 years or something to accurately mirror something that's going on and make it literally frame perfect. So yeah, and I guess in theory you could actually like skew that, and if you wanted to do like a different angle like this. So yeah, that's how I would do it. Is a shadow backwards? It was on the side of her face. This is confusing. Yeah, the thing is that in order to make this work, you have to do all of the keyframes of the original model first. And then in this case, because I didn't have to apply a silhouette in that case, I just turned the opacity down. But in theory, you can actually you just use the silhouette mode that you have in an editing software, and just like have it so that the character is the character is blacked out, so you don't have to redo all the frames. That's the idea. But yeah, in this case. In this case, you have either way, all the keyframes have to be done, so that by the time you copy and paste the track with those keyframes on, they will all already be in place. So when you flip the image, then it already works. That's the point.
Hello there! Welcome to this year's Brightside Ball. Be sure to put on your mask and enjoy yourselves while also donating to your local charities. Or
charities, plural. I thought it was a fundraiser for you specifically.
orphanages, if you like.
Or maybe not, actually. Maybe it was, I think they did say just this is where they're hosting it, but it's for all of them. Okay, fair enough. Also, I'm hoping this child just kind of like draw someone's attention, not just pickpocket her, because that would be a bad look on a charity fundraiser event. Let's see.
I'm sorry, not now, Lydia. I'm busy greeting people.
Okay, thank goodness. No pickpocketing, fine.
Hold on, what do you guys...
I don't know that skirt is so weird. You know why I think it doesn't go with that skirt? I mean, color clashing aside or whatever, I think it's because the actual like clothing asset is not stretched over the length of the skirt. So it feels like it feels like it's just like cropped out, or like it's just hanging basically, rather than like being wrapped around her. That's the problem. It's not sized correctly, or the dress is not cinched correctly to pull it off. That's why it feels weird. And also, I believe it is in fact backwards as well.
Doing here.
It's free to enter.
Also, yeah, good point. Yes, she is real. Yeah, her name is Lydia, apparently. She's not Crying Child 2.0.
Even if you have cash. And something is bound to happen here, so we're here to help.
Is
Help?
that a custom hand with all 5 fingers? Interesting.
When have I ever needed help? And Damon can't even talk right now after losing his voice from that cold.
Hey, Harley, Mike is starting to steal
If I haven't
food.
told like now after losing his voice from that cold, some of these lines need redirections. Like I've been enjoying this VA's delivery like so far, but that was one where clearly something went wrong and it wasn't corrected. Also, ew, eye patch.
And the tables.
What?
And to go on the character's thigh. Oh, so it's already been resized. Oh, that makes it even more confusing.
Ugh.
That's more of like an I'm guessing. Not an like it'd been like gut punched.
Don't worry, my dear. See, they have
Now that is a synced up shadow. Look at the difference.
already arrived. Nobody would abandon you.
Interesting. Like now that the character's like waving normally, it feels very rough by comparison. The curse of applying different animation.
I'm not for being controlled.
I've had enough of being controlled. By the way, I'm being controlled. Oh, speaking of FNAF, that feels like one of the minigames we just saw there.
I think I might be possessed.
This is what I'm saying, like the custom chairs are just basically just made out of shapes. That's all you really need in a lot of cases with gacha backgrounds and props. Again, I really should just make a few of them.
If I see someone, I'm scared to know what will happen.
Hey there.
Hello?
Have you seen someone named
Again, his feet. Every time his feet just always his head stays still and his entire body shuffles into position.
Zach? I'm waiting for my friend, but clearly they like to take their time.
Do you need help?
I feel like he was asking you if you knew anything, but okay. Oh, and he's blushing now? Alright. Wow, no one's offered me their hand to help me with something before. That'd be really sad if it were the case. I mean, this is great. By the way, this is fantastic, like, way to show, like, how the dance works. And even though they're awkwardness, like, how slow they are, it just doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel like it's earned based on, like, hey, can you help finding your friend? Sure, let's dance. If this were an isolated moment, actually, like if Ghost said, if you just muted the video, and you just, like, thought that, they would, what was I going to say? That this is the one character that asked another to dance. That's it. That's all you need. You'll be off to the races, but yeah, that's the one thing that's like holding me back here, because otherwise I really love the way this is being done. Maybe slightly choppy, like going back and forth there, but close enough. Don't know how the shadows are being cut. Okay. Oh, and speaking of Star Versus, as I brought it up earlier, ooh boy, we're doing this, are we? Alright, well, buckle in everyone, because I'm about to get geeky again, and it's gonna get a little weird and a little wild. So, for those who don't know, in Starverse: The Forces of Evil, during season 1, there is an episode where Star's ex-boyfriend Tom invites her to something called the Blood Moon Ball. Star agrees to go, even though she's still like distrusting of Tom, but she feels like she has a handle on the situation. There's a bit of the lesson of the episode is basically like Marco, it doesn't trust Tom but Star feels like he doesn't trust her either to know when she's in danger, even though she can handle herself to a certain degree. So he actually decides to go and gate crash the party. You know, he somehow makes his way to the Blood Moon Ball, and once he's there, he actually manages to take Tom's place in dancing underneath the Blood Moon. Now, the idea behind the Blood Moon Ball, or the Blood Moon specifically, that Tom had in mind was that anyone who dances under the light of the Blood Moon is destined to be together forever. So the fact that this was one of the major things was like, oh, these two might be endgame to some degree. However, this actually started something that Blue Order, different YouTuber, has dubbed the Blood Moon Disqualifier. But when it comes to Starco moments in the series, because technically speaking, anything that happened under the Blood Moon could have been after that point and before it was dispelled, could be seen as the magic of the Blood Moon forcing them into romantic situations and not actual genuine Starco moments between them that would actually develop their relationship. In fact, actually, even sometime during, I think it was like season 4, where they finally dispel this thing, they even mentioned that the Blood Moon is more like a curse. I'm guessing that was a response to fan outrage about the idea, because you did essentially bind them magically and force them into doing something. It's like the Goblet of Fire forcing Harry to take part in the tournament, or some magical consequence would have ensued. So basically, I bring this all up because the idea of the Blood Moon Ball, when it comes to characters being bonded together, if we're going in this direction, because it seems to be framed in a remarkably similar fashion, just a bit more blue of a background rather than the red of everything else, means that either the creator might have missed the point if they're trying to do an endgame angle here, or this is going to be an actual thing of like trying to break this, or we're going to explore with a little bit of a character agency situation. I doubt it's the second one, though. I don't know. I don't know this creator, so we'll see. But yeah, but bottom line, it's not a good look to recreate the Blood Moon Ball in any form, and not find a way to subvert it or point out that it's a terrible idea in principle. So we'll see what they do. Oh, the beat's dropping now. They didn't have this, the Blood Moon Ball, that's for sure. Hey.
Wait! Where are you going?
Blood Moon.
Something isn't right
Finding
here.
you to love, spelling your doom. Blood Moon. Your agency is going to be gone soon. I haven't done that since it was all him, like 2 years ago.
Mike, I need you to make a speech right now.
Remember, she's going through an episode, so like they said, go along. Oh, yeah, sure, okay, so like they said, I'm glad that the characters have to tell me to go along with something, and that you feel the need to remind someone about like a character's motivations.
So, before we get...
Okay, so when you do that thing with like a cup, the reason it makes that sound is because you're stirring the item inside the cup, so it's like it's hitting the side of the cup at a much faster speed. If you do it on the outside, like a ding 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 ding, that's normally that's slower than going ding 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 ding. It's a difference. Otherwise, if you're just like kind of like drilling into the side of going ding 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 like that, usually it's a lot of force, and the glass is going to break. So I don't recommend it. This pink-haired person's thoughts. Maybe. Yeah. Oh. Mark decided himself as a skull mask, so different outfits look less human. I think the Blood Moon Ball is only for non-humans, so I told him to invite Star. I mean, potentially. It was definitely a demon tradition. That's why he knew about it, but yes. Probably. Either way, Tom would not have invited Marco at that point because they didn't have their whole friendship or rivalry yet. That was kind of like after that event.
Started into the donations. I'd like to give a speech.
About what?
About our adopted sister, Eloise.
Yay, let's embarrass a child. Honestly, I can see a sibling doing that, so why not? In fact, even today, actually, during the party that I went to, there were a couple of parents passing on embarrassing photos of their children to their faces, of course.
Well, isn't it the deadbeat of a caretaker? Pleasure to see you again, Harley.
Is this meant to be the story? Is this part of the speech?
These things are creations made by the upper power? What even is that?
The author, maybe.
Exist.
Maybe.
Plus,
Okay, that mirror being like shattered there definitely feels like it's going to be important also.
only people who have ever witnessed that.
It was a demon prom. Don't ask me how that works. I mean, it's a prom for demons. You know, seems perfectly reasonable to me.
Is me.
So this is what ended your life? Wow. Should we be looking at it?
Everyone, go away. Someone is rewriting this, and I don't understand what I'm up against now.
Harley, nobody else can see this besides you and anyone who's witnessed it.
Nope.
Aw, you're seeing apparitions again. Isn't it nice that nobody can see me, but, well, believers.
I see you have noticed my stand. I haven't watched JoJo, that's all I can do.
Soul givers. Murderers.
Why are you running?
Stay away from me!
Zach, I know it's you. You don't have to hide from me.
No, but you'd have to hide from me!
Blood moon. Blood
I'm
moon.
so sorry, Zach.
There's blood on the...
I didn't mean to be like that. I was scared.
Of what?
No, I was scared of hurting you.
Blood moon. Blood moon. Instead of hurting him, it'll be your tomb.
So, the monster finally let out a secret.
Oh, what is happening to your lips? Everything else I can vibe with, maybe like a few, like, you know, a few outlines could have been polished of this drawing, honestly, but what is up with those lips?
About time that happened.
With a very chapped or have got, you know, the lip was not applied evenly.
What do you mean by hurting me?
This plot. You're confused by this plot. The description alone was confusing in how it was worded. I'm doing my best here, but it seems that the idea at the beginning of this was that, you know, the character that died at the beginning was trying to get revenge on, I guess, like, this main character's friend. I don't know what his whole deal is at the moment. Those people who can see apparitions, a character was having a full-on episode. And, you know, and I guess Zach decided to, you know, have do a little dance, I suppose, in the middle of all of that, and go and enter to his place in disguise. Which I guess was also probably meant to be like part of the whole Blood Moon thing because Marco was in disguise at that point, as Ghost Kitty pointed out. Maybe.
You've never tried to hurt me.
But it was in my power. I couldn't control my magic and I ended up hurting people I cared about. The tail end. I was possessed.
That would make sense to why the character left towards the beginning and went to that new school. That's going to tie back the whole betrayal thing. So, okay. I'm glad we get an explanation on that.
Possessed by destiny to end an important
And that it felt organic.
person, my own friend, was murdered by destiny while I was just being held back in my own body.
Like how the book says destiny.
Just watching her draw you in.
Oh my gosh, I was joking about the Chamber of Secrets earlier, but actually the Writing on the Wall thing, and now like a diary labeled after the person who possesses someone that I guess like, you know, like has the diary with them, and possibly writes within it. Yeah, okay, so we've got Star Versus and the Chamber of Secrets rolled into one. What a interesting combination.
Just to then watch you fall off the balcony.
What are you saying?
I didn't hurt you, Elaine. I never wanted to.
They framed it as a... I never wanted my life like this. They must have known who I was, but they treated me like human just to be your prey. You all knew. The whole school board and everyone. They knew
I think a line got like cut.
Knew I could be the author.
What?
Well, there we go. Revenge is nigh. So now it comes down to this: the character they're trying to get revenge on for killing her potentially, and also I guess the main character being caught in the crossfire. That's what seems to have that's what seems to be like the main thing to deal with here. I'm glad that they brought back the twiddling of the sword, like it was an actual motif, like a physical motif that a character could do to identify them. That was very clever. All right, so no, I guess their hairpin is back. I thought it would be like out now if it's like became the sword. Okay. I said this before, but like the last good scene for me in When Winter Strikes was the training montage that they did in the snow. And I'm pretty sure that I pointed out there that the one of the things I liked was like how they like framed the characters like squaring up against each other, not always in profile, but left to right justified shots. And, going back and forth, like how they could like do front face and back face and everything to actually like make the fight seem more intimate and dynamic. And now they're taking it to the skies as well. A lot of it is done in close-ups, but I can see why. As someone who's done like other fights that are not in close-ups or and possibly should have been, I get it. Confusing. A little bit, yeah. Okay, now I'm confused. Where are we? Also, just to me, they don't seem like angry enough. Almost, like they seem like they're both going through the motions. Maybe to some extent they are, but one of them was like really committed before. I mean, the Peppermint about that Pokeball, the swords and the pearl on her head. I think so. I thought it was like the hairpin, like was the weapon. Similarly to how like Riptide. In Percy Jackson is disguised as a pen most of the time. But maybe not, I guess. Maybe just like reappears and it is the way that they can just produce their power. But also I don't know why they have to like take it off if that were the case, but anyway. Or put it back on during the fight. That seems like you're wasting time. Oh, Nanny McPhee time. Sorry, you said your sword flying towards somebody and didn't have it stab through them. Why did you have it stop mid-air, millimeters before them? Yeah, just to stab them in the neck anyway. What was the point? To drag on the fight? You were brought back, for this express purpose. It feels like you're going through the motions. Why prolong it? I mean, I guess this character did supposedly, kill her, but I mean, even then, like, I'd normally be like, okay, fine, you want to, I guess, like, twisted revenge, I like making it as painful as possible. Sure, maybe, but the character seems so stoic and nonchalant about everything, it doesn't seem like it's in their nature to do it. That's why I'm kind of like, debating. Oh. Hello, Lydia. You keep appearing in places I'm shocked to see you. And who's that in the back? Okay. Wait, was that a fusion? Did they defuse? Wait a second. Yep, that was definitely a defusion right there. Alright. So we have got some Steven Universe stuff. We're on a roll today, aren't we, Ghost Kitty?
What's going on? She's destroying the other end!
Elaine, we don't have to end it like this! Remember all the happy memories?
You'll end with me.
Remember all the happy memories. You want to be more specific about those? Or, at least mention one of them? The girls like giving me more vengeful spirit vibes, but I can get revenge on their kill when it appears to be an accident. Then again, the killer could be lying. I mean, even if it's an accident, it still happens. So someone might still want revenge for it, even if that's unfair to say. Or to
We
do,
are
I
written
guess.
together and will be erased together. This is our end, Gadrill. I will be
The forever end.
guarding the story, life or death. The very power that ended your family, Zack. And you knew that, Lily.
What?
And there are the
What are
two
you
stars at
doing?
the beginning.
I'm making a wish with the stars.
I knew those were important before. I knew they were gonna come back.
That's deadly!
Let's go.
Making a wish will get you terminally ill.
Oh no, he was about to die a second earlier, genius. This at least gives him some time.
I'm showing you how much I actually care about you. Elaine, I never would have backstabbed you in the school. We were friends when I had none and was judged. Elaine, you hold a piece in my heart. Even
Character with heterochromia used to have an eye patch. Of course they did.
just best friends, I will always love you. I wish one day we could meet again in a peaceful place.
Oh, it was the wish to, have her, actually rest in peace.
I'll miss you, Elaine.
That's nice. Okay. Wait a minute. What? Just do 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 do. If you're going to have a musical change, usually it's best to fade down your existing track, especially if you're already using existing tracks. I'm dislocated for a sec. There, she was disintegrating. It's fine. She won't burn. Oh, and we're back to here. Why did that need separate music? I thought it was gonna a montage or something, or an extended flashback, but it was just a few seconds. Why bother changing the music? Unless it was added in post later after it was all synced up, but that feels... No. No, why? Doesn't have that. The yellow eye might be symbolic then. Heterochromia and whatnot.
Lily, who are you really? I'm someone. I could be anyone, but in the end, I'm just me.
Also, I'm someone with pink blood, apparently.
Just a lost soul who's been possessed by others, shunned out by society for differences, and scolded for not being what they want.
That's just fine. We'll learn together. You'll make your decision. Life is messy, and at the end, you'll know. In my eyes, you've always been Lily. The one who's selfish, but also caring.
Can we try making this work out again?
Sure. But this time, you have to tell me who you are, no matter the good or bad. I'm Zach Peterson, and who might you be?
My name is Count Dracula Wallachia. Relations? Nope. Next scene. Oh, butter. Okay.
Looks like someone made a mistake.
Oh, it's a brush. I thought it was a mirror with paper. No, it's a brush. Okay, fine. The forever end of the Brightside Ball. Yeah, I should point out this channel is called I think it's called M Productions. So MGO Hart is the director. I guess that this is the group channel for everyone. Which okay. Including Vesperia Productions, because of course, and Lazy Bear Studios. His hair isn't actually purple. You mean not a natural purple? How dare you? Oh wait, no, sorry. M Creations is Maya Minute or Maya Minute. I'm not sure which one. Maybe that was the vengeful the child that fused with Lydia earlier. It's Maya Minute. Maybe that was it. So you have character submissions.
Hello,
Very
everyone.
nice
Take
too.
two on.
Oh, and yep, another cut to the music. So again, in the Music Freaks, what they do is pretty much Rosie comes on the screen. She's lowers the music down and still carries it on. It's like end it like that
Making
much.
a voice acted project, and I hope you all have enjoyed it. I definitely went for
I did.
more 2019, 2020 animation style, sorta. I don't know what to call my style, honestly.
What defines 2019 or 2020 animation style? Because the last time I saw this was in FAFSA, and that came out in like 2023, so...
For this project, and I hope it can bring some good memories of the Gacha era that from that time, while also sharing the story of the Forever End. Please consider supporting the project and help promoting it.
You know something? I actually really, I should look into that, you know, like the idea of different animation styles from different eras of Gacha, because animated Gacha project was so few and far between, it felt like everyone was trying to, you know, learn everything at once. I didn't, like, ever get the sense there was a consistent style from, you know, between one and the other. So, yeah, I guess I was wrong on that front. I'll have to look more into that.
It means a lot to have people invested in the story and spread the word. If the pilot does well, then it will be greenlit for an entire season, but it won't be possible without help from you, the viewer. You can help by sharing, subscribing, making reaction videos, creating fandom.
Hey! That's me! That's me! Hello!
Somehow. Or just simply liking and commenting will help this get out to the algorithm. I'm hoping... Wait, sorry.
They've probably been defined from tweet animation. The one thing I would say is that, you know, live 2D particularly was making the rounds back in the day. But that was like, even then it was like after 2019, really, honestly.
I'm working on this with a small team of me and my friends.
18 animation stuff is from what I remember. Well, this is 2019, so I don't know.
And the voice actors, but if you're interested in helping promote the project, then feel free to ask me here. Thank you so much for watching the entire episode of The Forever End, and I seriously hope I can make a whole season out of this story. Thank you again, and hopefully I could see you in episode 2. Or, if this gets greenlit, this season trailer. Whichever. Thank you for watching this whole episode. Bye!
Well. I mean, you lot know what to do, obviously. You know, link is in the description. You know, go and give likes and promotions and comments and all of that stuff. You know, tell them, you know, hear from Gacha Review or something. That'd be a good message. You know, comment here from Gacha Review. And then something about the video that you know that you thought. I should make that like a habit, honestly, like saying to people like, yeah, check out the video, like give some comments and like, you know, especially the stuff that we like enjoy. Because as much as I definitely there's some aspects of this that definitely, you know, like got to me. I feel like I really enjoyed like the whole experience. I said before, I do to a certain extent like not knowing when something is where something is going. It depends, because like when it's the entire premise of the story and when it's worded so confusingly without that being the intention, that's when that's where I kind of like, you know, that's where I kind of take a step back and like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm please explain something. And I feel like watching your comments on the live chat, you all agree with that. But you know, some things in here that were clearly intended to be like a mystery, like how the whole like author thing actually connects. Lily's character actually is to begin with. You know, where Zack fits into all of it. You know, there were some aspects of this that I definitely that make me want to see this greenlit. Absolutely. There are others, of course, where it comes to like, I really hope that the Blood Moon thing is portrayed in some form, or maybe like we don't know if it's actually like meant to be a spell or something. It could be like just visual, a visual callback. I'm hoping that's the case, because otherwise we're gonna have a problem, because those two characters are basically the ones bound by the Blood Moon, and they're our central focus, and that's kind of one of the things that, you know, that detracted from Star vs. the Force of Evil. So, yeah, just be careful with that. And also, like, the biggest issue, of course, was just in general the animation of the heads. Hopefully, what I said about you know, pre-rendering the heads makes a lot more sense if you're going to go with that style. You know, because and as far as like the neck distance goes as well, that's another thing. Again, I can see what they're going for with like how their heads move and the characters and their bodies shuffle and everything, and so I get like why they're still separated, but the faces definitely need to be consistent to each other, because that's also how physics works, like this. Voice acting was for the most part pretty good. I'm not gonna say like, oh, penalize like mic quality and stuff. That kind of thing happens, obviously. The only real, like, I guess, like, weak link, I suppose, is, like, that just the hostess at the beginning, like, announcing the charity event in that one scene. That was it, really. A couple of other examples where something should have been retaken because someone stumbled on their lines. They did, like, they did that, and that was left in. So just, director, make sure that you catch those if they do happen. And, yeah, overall, we might want to, have... That was like get a second opinion or something like how the series is phrased, because the whole like author's element and everything else. Those terms felt like they need to be like contextualized in this episode for the description to make sense, and they weren't really, or not in a way that made sense on the first time. And there's the other contradiction also, that some aspects were, meant to incite mystery and people ask questions and not give all the answers, and other parts were just hand-holding us, being like, remember, she's having an episode, this is the hallway, everyone. Those kind of things where, a way think, okay, have more faith in your audience if you're trying to challenge them. So, there is that also. But yeah, other than that, the only thing I guess I could say was, like, as far as, no, I think that's it, yeah. I'm excited and confused. That sums it up pretty substantially. You know what, that's a great comment. If you end up saying I hear from Gacha View, I'm excited and confused. That can be your one, if you want it to be. Everyone else, think of something else. We'll see. Hopefully this will, hopefully we'll get noticed as much as this will get noticed, and just be like a feedback loop, a literal feedback loop, because you're giving feedback. Hey, yeah. Anyway, like I said, I'm I've been fed tonight, so I'm a little bit crazier than normal. That being said, I've not I've had dinner but not dessert yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Maybe pop on some Star Versus now that I'm in the mood for it. You never know. We'll see. There's lots on my list. Alright, but for now, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.